Hey guys, how are you today? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Adam Jason. I'm the founder of BRRRRinvest.com, and I wanted to come to you today with another video. Now, as an attorney and BRRRR investor, I get often asked, what are the provisions that you should be including in contracts with your property managers, your tenants, your contractors, to make sure that you're in the best position you possibly can be as an investor. So what I want to do today is run you through what I think are the top 10 contract clauses that you should be including in those contracts. So we'll go through those top 10 basis, and I hope you take a lot of value away from this today. So like I said, just as an attorney, I get this question a lot. I'll give you kind of my experience, 10 years of doing this, and what I think you should be including. We don't know each other well, so here's a quick bio for you that you can check out and read, but I want to get into this and make sure you get this list quickly today. So number one, contractors. Super important. As you know, with contractors, they love to give general scopes of work that don't define kind of all the things that they're going to do. What does that do? It leads to ambiguity, discussions down the road. Were they supposed to do something that they didn't do, etc.? Got to have that in the contract, and don't let contractors kind of bully you around into being general about what they're going to do. It's going to protect your interests in the long run. Number two, you buy the materials, you get the discounts. Contractors will often charge you for two things when they're working with you: labor and materials, right? They buy the materials, they upcharge you for them, they keep the extras after the project is done and use them on another project. You should be the one who's able to buy the materials and make sure the contracts you're entering with them give you the right to do so. Helps you avoid those upcharges. If you're putting them on your credit card, you can get some points for airlines, etc. So it's a good bonus. It's also a good learning tool. So, you know, the way I do it is I'm on the phone with Home Depot and my contractors there. We buy the materials together. Smooth, easy process that makes sure I know what we're buying and that I get all the benefits for it. Make sure to ask too that you get any discounts that your contractors get, so you can save a little bit more money there. Number three, incentivize and penalize. Super important that your contractors are held to the time standards that you set in your contract. They should also be rewarded. So the way we do it is we have a clear from the start deadline for when work's going to be done on the rehab projects that we're doing. If folks hit those deadlines, we build in a small incentive of a couple percentage points of the total rehab cost. If they miss those deadlines, it comes out of their pocket. So we work backwards and say, if you're a week late, you miss this percentage, etc. You'd be amazed to see how fast people start working when those deadlines approach. Definitely got to have this in your contracts. Number four, make the payment terms favorable to you. This is another one of, don't get pushed around by your contractors and allow them to require full payment up front or terms that don't really work for you. You want to be real specific that you're paying out over time as work is getting done, as you're able to inspect things, so that the terms are favorable to you. Number five, property managers. This is the next group of people that are going to be essential to your investing that we want to talk about. What do you want to do? You want to control expenses. Your property manager should not have the leeway to be able to make repairs, buy materials, etc. without your approval, at least not in an amount that exceeds the amount that you determine is appropriate. So I like to do with my property managers anything $200 and under. I trust you to do it. I hired you. I still want to see receipts and I'm going to look at it, but you don't have to call me and make those decisions. But you don't want to have people making big changes, spending money on your behalf without your approval. So you got to put that in the contract. Number six, property managers. You got to lower your fees as your portfolio grows. This one I love. You know, we give people work, we should be rewarded for that. So maybe when you start with your property manager, you're paying 10% of rent on the contracts that you have. That should be going down as you give them more projects. So the way we do it is basically 3 properties equals 1 percentage point. So if I give them 3 properties, I go from 10% on my fees to 9%, another 3, I go to 8, and it should cover the whole portfolio. So for all 6 properties, I'm paying that same 8%. This is a big one to include. It's not going to be something that you find if you just pull a contract off of Google or find an attorney to draft this for you. This is something that you got to know about as an investor, and that we've got you covered for if you work with us. Number 7, make the leases automatic renewable. As BRRRR investors, we love the passive nature of real estate. We don't want to be fighting with tenants as lease renewals come up, signing more papers, trying to renegotiate contracts, none of that. Just put in the contracts that they automatically renew for an additional term or the term that you want to. No discussions, no re-signing, gotta be there. Number 8, precise penalty provisions. The thing that'll kill you with tenants and working as a landlord or through your property manager is not being clear about the things that violate the lease. So a lot of that comes from experience and anticipating problems. I've been doing this for 10 years as an attorney and investor. The contracts that we have and the work that we've done for you and the pain that we've gone through on our end, make sure that the penalty provisions are there for you, so that if a tenant does something wrong, it's coming out of their pocket, not yours, and they know from the start that they're going to be held accountable. Got to be there. Number 9, charge for utilities. Depending on where you are in the country, utilities can make or break your investment. If you're in the South and you're paying huge air conditioning bills, if you're in the North and you're paying for snow removal, heat, etc., that's something that, to the extent you can, should be offset by money coming in from your tenant. So we always put it in our contracts, in our lease agreements. You got to try and do that yourself and include those there. We got super precise language that makes sure you're covered. Got to have it. Number 10, set up automatic rent increases. This is what you'll hear referred to as a rent escalator provision. All it says is every year when this lease renews, it's going to go up by a certain percentage, 5, 10, whatever percent you choose. It's flexible, and you can have in there what you agree and that your tenant agrees to at the start, but it saves you from that renegotiation, trying to remember what each tenant is going to be paying in the new year, etc., trying to make them consistent across all your different properties as your property starts to scale. Get it up front, make sure you're not dealing with this in the future. Put your investing on autopilot, as we all love to do. Those are the top 10 things I think that you should be including in your contracts to make sure that you're maximizing your return on your investment as a BRRRR investor. What I want to tell you, don't write these yourself or pay an expensive lawyer to do it. You can join us for free, sign up, get all of these contracts and more tools and resources, all of this language already prepared for you by somebody who's done it for 10 years. Take the guessing out of this, give yourself the confidence you need to be a great investor. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.